Talking with Words.
Yeah, you're good.
That was weird. Hey, welcome back to Talking with Words. You're here with Rob.
Ray.
Will?
Maybe Cameron. Maybe Taylor.
And Ryan.
That's your guys' surnames from now on. And the maybes are because we're going to watch Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
Director's cut.
This is Zack Snyder's
Best work.
something.
That's just the first part.
Oh.
The second one is just as
Sally.
Sally's here too, kind of. If you don't know anything about this movie, like everyone here except Taylor, it's described as when a peaceful settlement on the edge of a distant moon finds itself threatened by a tyrannical ruling force, a stranger living amongst its villagers becomes their best hope for survival.
How could you get it wrong?
I mean, stars Sofia Boutella, Dimon Hansu, Ed Skrein. You're the bad guy from Deadpool 1. Ray Fisher's in it, of course. Charlie Hunnam, Anthony Hopkins. A lot of people.
I didn't know Anthony Hopkins was in it.
On paper,
Carrie Ellis
this
is in
movie
it. Wow.
looks pretty
Jenna
good.
Malone. Taylor really likes this movie. He told us to wait for him for the pod. So
Well,
we
he's only
did.
seen the first cut, though, the PG-13,
Oh, yes.
so he's in for more excitement.
the almost okay length.
I don't want to give away my opinion on this particular film, but what I will say is the original version loses its way 15 minutes in. So I can only imagine what the hour and a half extra is
Takes
going
20 minutes to lose its
do
way
to us.
because of the slow motion.
Holy smokes, we're going to be like the hobbits in Mirkwood.
Just hanging out, waiting for them elves to get their crossing done.
Boy.
We need a director or a parent's guide. I'll do it. Lord.
Sally's eating.
All right, parent's guide.
Dinner doesn't happen before dark.
Not here.
So this is the PG-13 Parents Guide on here.
Oh, is it?
That's what it looks like because Netflix says graphic nudity, graphic violence, and this says mild and moderate everything. And I don't
Okay.
love it.
Do the regular parents guide, and then I'll add on the detail for the director's cut.
Okay. Sex and nudity is mild. You're going to add it on now or later?
No, I'll add it on once you're done.
Oh, okay. Violence and gore, moderate. Profanity, mild. Alcohol, drugs, and smoking, mild. Frightening and intense scene is mild. Or it.
And then for the director's cut, we show everything. Okay, full penetration,
Full blast.
ins, outs,
In slow motion.
guns. Okay, and then back to full penetration.
See, I was worried about my decision. I'm back now. I'm back in. All right, let's watch this movie.
All right, so Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
So I've been working on my karaoke songs that I'm going to sing on this cruise here in 2 weeks, and I've been trying to figure out.
Young man, take a look at my life.
Well, I've been doing that, and I've been doing a little some America songs and
So
some
which
country
Creed song
songs.
did you pick?
Huh?
Which Creed song did you
Well,
pick?
no, I was trying to do some Garth Brooks. Got a little chicken fried, cold beer on a Friday night. I'm gonna get just fine.
I think you got it nailed.
There's still work to do, huh?
Oh, are we going?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we couldn't tell it was
my
3.5
ex
hours long.
Live in Texas. Yeah.
So
What's a good one?
If the synopsis that we gave you before we started watching this film wasn't enough, by God, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough.
It was nowhere near enough.
One
Good.
word. Rice.
We could have gone more NC. We could have gone NC-18. The slow-mo rice. Okay.
I don't even know where to start.
You know Arthur and his court, and he had to go get all those knights to fight the king? Just think of that, but not that.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question to the group. Why did this movie happen?
It happened because so many people watched the Snyder cut of Justice League that they gave him a chance to make his own original film.
Yeah.
And they realized you're a fucking idiot.
There's some thirst out there for the Snyder cuts. He developed a need, a very
We had one major fan reaction, and it was
there's more than that, dude.
more
because
than that for what other movie?
Batman vs Superman Snyder cut is where
Well,
everything
I'd
started.
take those two together, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's where
that's
everything started. And then it's developed into this monstrosity that we just watched.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nightmare.
Basically, this film exemplifies how he does not know how to really write original content. It is a huge compilation of films which he loves and tries to use that to make something he thinks is original, basically because you have updated graphics or different types of concepts that just kind of changes a little bit, but it's still just like a hodgepodge of things you've seen before.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I enjoyed it because it was more hysterical making fun of watching it, I think, as we went through, because there's so many things that you just have to laugh at. So, I mean, so, as we said, Taylor only watched the PG-13 version, so he got to watch the rated R cut, and there was a lot different. And you said you appreciated it more because it made things make more sense.
It makes more.
It stop it from not being not great.
As all Snyder cuts do, the movie makes more sense when you stretch it out. You give it more time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. It's more coherent, but good fucking Lord.
You don't need 3 hours to tell an hour and a half story.
Just cut this down, man.
I just want the Snyder cut of the robot movie, and it's just the robot.
The robot cutaways. Okay, so just for everybody listening
What is
to
that,
this,
Chappie?
almost every robot cutaway that you see in this director's cut doesn't exist in the original version. And so this is all added footage of like the robot by himself just pondering like a
Developing humanity.
like a Greek philosopher.
Yeah.
This is just by himself talking to himself. And it's so
He's getting down with his feelings.
sure. But I mean like that needs to be the main character of your story, or you do the opposite where you go with the crew. But he just blended it all together in the director's cut, and so there's these two disjointed pieces. Now, the interesting thing is going to be, does the robot have a different role in the second film? Because it would seem like he would have a much more, like a titular role in the second film.
Yeah.
In the original part 2, he does not. He's just one of. He's basically there's the 7, and he's like the +1, and he goes out as the +1. So it'll be interesting to see if he plays a hinge point in the director's cut part 2, because holy fucking shit.
He's just the squire following him around.
Oh man.
We got to back it up here because you're describing tons of characters that no one knows what the hell we're talking about. So
Sorry.
I'm going to reread this because this doesn't give any sort of real understanding to what we just watched. So this was what the synopsis was. It says, when a peaceful settlement on the edge of a distant moon finds itself threatened by a tyrannical ruling force, a stranger living amongst its villagers becomes their best hope for survival. So essentially, to take that and try to wrap it up as quickly as possible, space Nazis come attack this one planet because they want some of their grain, despite the fact that there are vast majorities of planets that have all sorts of other fucking food out there. But this one planet gets attacked, and this chick gets real pissed because she used to be like abducted by them and like brainwashed to their society, and she wants to get her revenge.
And
When you say it like that, it kind of makes sense.
It's like that's basically what we just watched, and it.
they don't just want their grain, they apparently require their grain. Otherwise, they're going to starve to death.
Yeah, they couldn't figure it out. They're destroying planets that have all sorts of food and I mean, just eating organs, anything possibly.
This village
grain.
of 100 agrarian farmers that don't use
Vikings with all sorts of accents
and they
from
don't
every
use,
walk of life.
They don't use any mechanized equipment because it
Just
feels like
iPads.
and they just go
No,
okay.
they use the manpower tools because they feel a connection with
That's
the
right.
land.
And they go, okay, just farm your shit like you usually do. We won't leave you any mechanized equipment to help you, and we'll be back in 10 weeks to eat all your shit and kill you.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, why fight them? You guys are right.
yeah. So
Why are you so mad?
We need a beast tamer. We need beast tamers. Is what we need.
So this. Did we find out how much of the 3.5 hour? How long was this movie? 3.5 hours.
So it was 3.5 hours, and
I
there
just
was an
love voice.
additional hour of
That's what it sounds
content in this version of it. So the entire opening scene, which we watched, is a kid. It's basically like the main bad guys of the film. They're taking over a planet because that just seems to be what they do. They go and attack planets for whatever reason. And
Because they were harboring the enemy.
yeah, they were harboring somebody. A family's
You
trying
don't
to
know
hide
that.
them.
You don't know that.
We never actually saw any of those people. They
the
just said that
kingdom
they were
is the
harboring-
quintessential
That's what
fuck
he
around and
said,
find
though.
out community.
But yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
have
what
this,
that's what the bad guy said.
Right.
Yeah, he said they were hiding. That's
They're
why,
not
so he-
exactly honorable people. It actually establishes that in the prologue.
When he says if you kill your
They
dad,
are-
I'll let your family go.
That's right.
But it also it builds like a story baseline for this character, this kid, because he forces him to kill his dad in front of him to prevent the rest of his family from getting murdered, and then he still kills them anyway. And it tries to build up this, okay, this guy's going to mean something, and that character just becomes like another grunt who really doesn't do a whole lot in the film at all.
He sucked.
You just
It
kind of
is.
understand, okay, he's acting how he is now because he just killed his parents. That's about it.
It's only
It's
there.
like
so
35 minutes of just bullshit that really
It's-
didn't add any value.
It's
at
there
all.
so you understand that the bad guys are super, super bad.
Yeah. Those
They
coats
just-
aren't
You
just
mean
looking
the
like
Nazis
Nazi
weren't
uniforms.
great
yeah.
people?
No, the Nazis, it turns out, they just like the destruction. They just like twisting shit, doing experimentation, eugenics motherfuckers.
So, do you think they let aliens into their group? There's a lot of white guys. It is a
Outside
lot
of the
aliens.
octopuses?
We
Or?
didn't see any aliens. It was all
Well-
the underlings were Irish
Yeah, there was a
or Scottish.
hentai.
Didn't he get
scene.
raped by an octopus?
I
Oh,
think
no, he was very
I think
willing.
He wanted it.
Yeah, maybe that octopus was unwilling.
Yeah, some of the worst accents I've ever heard in a movie.
The
Calamar me later.
the Irish and the Scottish. I like the Irish and the Scottish being the underlings. It's like, yeah, okay.
It's Space
British,
Irish.
British
though, that
Empire
doesn't
is still
count.
in full effect.
We need to somehow reach out and get Charlie Hunnam to confirm why he decided to try to talk in like an Irish Scottish accent, because he just forgot he was doing it at the time and just talked
Yeah,
in an English voice.
like
And it's
Peter which Peter was that?
in which film?
The Viking dude, the leader of the
Oh,
Nazis.
25 people.
guy got his caved in.
Yellow Jacket.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember his last
All
name.
right, got
yeah.
it. He was falling in and out.
Yeah,
of
his was
accent
awful. But
constantly.
yeah, it's like they just let him do it. He's like, well, there's some words I can't say in it, but I'll just wing it, and then just let him go.
The only thing you need to remember about that guy is he fucks. He absolutely fucks all day, every day.
in front of people apparently.
He can't even take a break. Hey, by the way, all of you people that I'm in charge of, I'm doing some fuck.
Hey, I just want to tell you guys I got COVID, bitch. Not now.
What do you think, Ray? What did you think of this film?
It was a lot.
And
There
thanks for
you
joining
have it.
us.
A lot of fucking.
Yeah, so we understood why there's two parts, because the first part is essentially a team in space. You have this rebel who wanted to go get revenge for this. We're going to come after your grain. And then she goes and literally spends the next 3 hours creating a team of random people
You
have-
son of a bitch.
Longest
I'm in.
really
montage
don't,
ever.
who really don't do anything. Like
Look, man.
the best.
Who can say who
oh,
does things and who doesn't do things?
My favorite part though is like every
All of
single
us that
time that
watch
they
them
found
not
these
do
new
things.
characters, you spend 30 minutes. I guess they evaluate. Okay, you're supposed to do a tryout for our team, and it's always a random task. Each person had their own like specific thing they were doing,
Oh yeah.
but everybody else just stood there watching. So you'd have these like shots of pan back to the team just like looking googly eyed like, oh, is he going to do it? I don't know. He might not be good or not. Oh, whoa, he did. Look at that. And like,
If you can't dodge a spider, you can't dodge an empire.
and that was like an extra 20 minutes of just shots of guys just fucking blankly staring in the sky. It's like, it made no sense.
A lot of John Carpenter moments in there.
Yeah, and that was
What's he
probably
looking
the
at?
hardest part that I did not enjoy about the film.
Well, let's focus up here for a second and
Yeah,
say,
talk about that Beast Rider.
Sophia Boutella. Do you feel like you got a good understanding for what her deal is? Like tell me, just like, can I get a synopsis for what was going on with the main character, Sophia Boutella?
Yeah, she mad
Well, why? Why is she mad?
Because she doesn't have sword
because
legs.
they killed
yet.
her family and took her and brainwashed her, and then she got out of it. And it's like leaving a cult.
Okay, so they took her as a little kid, and she tried to kill the guy, and he was like, no, you coming with me, girl. And then she became a Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Because she seemed to be like all in, and then all of a sudden she changed her mind.
Her baby daddy got killed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember because they had the fight where the other guy in the army that she was in love
When she
with?
was riding the dead guy, and
But
she's like,
when
"Oh,
that
this
baby
isn't
daddy
gonna
got
work."
killed, she was still going at it. She was still fighting the enemy.
Well,
Did
yeah,
they ever
because
show
they killed
how she
her.
got to that world,
man.
though, with the Viking villagers? Because I don't think they did.
No, you're gonna see it in
He
part
crashed.
Oh, great. Another flashback.
2. Don't worry.
That's when I crashed.
It's a fucking gotcha question. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a little gotcha. I'm sorry. It was a little trapping.
It didn't get me, bitch.
You're gonna see what happens exactly in part 2.
Her ship goes down.
And prepare to be unsatisfied.
I don't know. We got to talk about the cantina scene, though. Lots. So if you don't know or aware that the original idea, I guess, behind this was he wanted to make a Star Wars film. Got shut down. They said, we don't like what you're selling here. Obvious. Why? But he still
Well, it's
had
not that obvious if you watch a Star Wars
He
film.
had so
anytime
many
soon.
elements of these movies that he appreciated and were tying in, and that's why he kind of said it's like a hodgepodge of stuff he loved. Didn't really create anything original. I mean, outside of the whole grain story, by God, generational change. And we have this cantina scene, which is just all these random people. And the best one is this Piggly Man, who sounds like old Greg, if you've ever seen the YouTube video from, I guess it was a show, wasn't it?
the Mighty Boosh.
The Mighty Boosh, yeah, it was an actual show. He sounds just like old Greg, and he's trying to just, like, fuck her companion. And just has that, do you like it, Baileys? I'm going to take you backstairs, and I'm going to fuck that ping in mouth by.
I love he gets out of the scene
Do
and
you
he
think you
comes
can let
back
me?
and he's like, no, I'm gonna make you kill me. That's not even my favorite part. My favorite part is a little squid alien that has enslaved the guy.
Or
It's like,
or he was, like, paying to have something happen. We don't know what
yeah,
was going on.
I
Maybe it was
genuinely
like
like
a-
that. I was like, okay, this is inventive. They're talking to the squid, but it's got to use the guy in order to communicate.
Yeah, especially if you've seen, what's that?
Independence Day?
No, the
Release.
actually, yeah, that's probably the best description. Yeah, because he has the tentacles attached to his neck, but the bug is talking through him.
Yeah.
But it was just so out of nowhere, though. Too. It just
That's
Dash
the thing I like
Sniff?
about it.
Is that
all
what that
these
guy's name
random
was?
people.
It's got a little more edge to it.
because they're looking for. This is when they're starting the recruitment process, and the bug is the one who responds like, "Yeah, I know that guy," but it's like,
Yeah, that
talking
belonged
to this
in a
dude.
like dark world of stuff.
this
It
was
was
like-
weird to throw into a cantina scene
Yeah.
yeah, this was the X-rated brothel cantina.
where Pigman's gonna
And then Pigman.
do things. I'm gonna fuck that
Pigman's-
pig's
I was
mouth.
I was waiting for him to say
Oh, gay rape.
I'm gonna make him squeal.
he doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
A lot of opportunities missed there.
Yeah, that was another one. The other good one was when you go to see the Beast Master, as we're calling him now, because every single one of these characters they recruit just is another character from film. And he rides this Gryffindor is the best way I can describe it. To prove his worth, Buckbeak. Yeah, he rides Buckbeak and,
Okay.
does the kneel down, shows his, hey, I respect you. And then sure enough, he can ride the fucking bird. And that takes another 15 minutes. They literally just fucking fly around like a little ravine in a desert and mountain state.
All I know is he was on.
Very much like Top Gun.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
I
kinda
guess.
he got on the bird, and I was like, perfect timing. I had a tooth in my hand because Sally just dumped Charlie's tooth when she tooth fairy.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Watching you got your wallet, I was so
yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go put this in we got a baggie for the teeth.
Yeah, we have bags of teeth here, which is very relevant to the film.
It's a good tie-in.
Got to make a mosaic, bitch.
Went all the way down, had to turn the light on, find the bag, put the tooth in, had to get Meryl's tooth off the counter because it was still in there because Sally won't touch teeth. Put it in her bag, hide the bags. I got back up here. He's still riding the fucking bird.
Yeah, it took like 15 minutes. And then the best part is when they found this guy, he was a prisoner. He was basically working an anvil. He was just
He was Conan.
Like a
making
blacksmith
weapons.
or whatever.
He had like some sort of a device that looked like it had some sort of electronic to it. It was a leg
Ankle monitor.
shackle, essentially. And he's like, yeah, I'll prove myself. And he just takes a hammer and just breaks it off. So this guy had just been in prison knowing he could just escape, but he was just satisfied.
He's an honorable guy. He's working off his debt.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he gets the go-ahead.
Found his calling.
Gets called up.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what?
Tap me in.
Snap this bitch.
I think
Give me
Native
that
American Matthew McConaughey can do whatever he wants.
Oh, man.
But also, how is it like this entire place that they went to? It was this little shack, this one little farm thing. Like, yeah, we're going with this guy with all the animals. He just had this one bird.
With Ray Porter.
That was it. And there's nothing else there.
It was quite easy to find this particular individual that they wanted to join the team. But then, but then that's the interesting thing is they were like, okay, we know who we want to join. You still got to prove it, man. You got to ride that bird. And
then the pan shots, the team watching in admiration, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, he's doing it. He's doing it.
You're doing it, Peter.
That's not the issue. The issue
It is an issue, though.
No.
There's no camaraderie between the teams. Like, there's
I'm sorry. Are you upset that they never talked to one another and was like, and fleshed out their personalities to each other?
yeah.
Look, you don't. Once they're on the team, they're on the fucking team. You don't need for them to talk to. There's no need for cohesion.
Yeah,
So-
there's absolutely no need for teamwork on a team.
Sophia
It's ridiculous.
Boutella just goes, hey, y'all are in. You're in for a penny, in for a pound.
It's
done.
You said it after they got the Nemesis chick.
I want them to be
This
friends,
is the one I want
okay?
to talk about. This is the one I want to talk about. Yeah.
But after they get it, they go back to the ship and they're talking. But it's like they can't see each other. They're all talking to the main chick, and then she'll respond to somebody else, and then she'll respond to somebody else for them. It was so fucking weird. Like they weren't even in the same room at the same time on that green screen.
Very
stage.
strange. Very
Huh.
strange. It seems like they might not have been there together.
None of the actors of the team met one another in filming.
Okay.
So
was
go
just
through
all-
the roster. You got
It was just all Tyler Durden.
Birdman.
Yeah, there you go.
You got Birdman. Who do they get after that?
Well, no, that Birdman wasn't the first, was he?
Yeah. You had the pirate.
So the
Han
people that are
Solo.
already on the island, once they get the whole grain issue, you have the chick who was brainwashed, and she was the one who wants revenge. You have her companion, who she has a slight love-hate relationship. Not quite sure she wants to bang him. She already banged fake Wolverine.
Totally wants to bang him.
And
That's the reason she brought him along.
well, she touched hands with also other people during the trip. So,
That look, touching hands.
That's how you get pregnant. Look out.
yeah, well,
Touching
well,
hands.
the fake Sting said you gotta create a family if you're gonna be part of this community. So
A dreamer and
yeah, so you had those two. So the two start from the island. So they immediately go to the cantina. So Charlie Hunnam's character is actually the first to join because they're looking for a specific person. They need to find direction.
Han Solo.
And then, he acts as this kind of fake Han Solo character. They have
Right.
a fight scene. He shoots first. Well, last, technically, I guess, in the battle itself. So he joins the squad. And then he talks in his stupid Irish, Scottish accent. And then from there, I think they go to the Beast Master guy.
It was because of his teeth. He couldn't. He had that sweet half grill. Yeah.
That was it.
I think
Just
he
choose a lot of double trouble.
he had mastered the American accent. He wanted to do that. And, he did his best. And then, so then they went
He
to the
tried.
Beastmaster next, I believe, right?
That's correct.
Because I don't think there was.
Beastmaster's next.
Yeah, and that's the
And-
guy who had the crazy flying. Which one was next after him?
Oh, you know where we went after
We
that.
went to the spider.
Spider Lady.
Nemesis.
I feel like there was one more before that. Was there not?
Oh.
Then there was Titan after that.
So the spider
The
lady
general?
was a sword master. She is the one where they introduce his concept of
With robot arms.
lightsabers.
She's got robot arms.
Yeah.
robot arms and blades.
Sweet ass robot
that
arms.
turn to glowing red.
So spoilers. You're gonna
What
find out.
happens
You're gonna find
to
out.
all of the baby spiders?
Well-
I need to fucking know.
Okay, so
'cause
the baby
no.
spiders?
Like almost threw up.
The
And I
baby's-
feel like I say that all the time. But like there were 3 times in this movie that I almost threw up, and that was one of them.
I don't know
It was
what-
fucking gross.
I don't know what your deal is with 1,000 bunch of baby spiders jumping out of a chick once she gets the laser sword through her abdomen. The baby spiders was not in the original. That's a new thing for the director's cut.
So more context.
That's part of the
on the
NC-17
spiders.
issue.
Each recruitment basically required them to watch these guys prove their worth, like we said, right in the Gryffindor. This chick with the swords just had to fight this random poor spider lady who's just been hanging out forever, doing her own thing. They're like, well, we're going to have to kill you to make sure she's worth the squad. And at some point, Classic slides underneath, cuts the belly open, and that's when the spiders pour out.
I love initially she doesn't even try to fight this spider chick. She tries to, hey, let me talk you out of eating that child
Hey,
that
can I have
you
that
got
kid
in your
back?
possession.
No,
Hey,
she's
that chick's a
mine.
spider. Just kill her. You're right there.
Excuse me, Miss Abomination.
very much like
Taylor set us up well for this because he described a series of videos to where it's called, what'd you say? Watch, don't act.
It's called Don't Help, Just Film.
Don't help, just film. So the premise of these films is people are recording stuff just, because something bizarre is happening to where they could possibly step in and help. And then we watch the scene, and that's where they're making her prove herself. She's got the spider strangling her to death. And the entire squad, they literally pan to them and are just like watching, just like, oh my God,
At least
this might not work out.
at least 2 of our heroes have magma weapons
Yeah, they could just
on
shoot the
Harriet
spider with a
triggers,
gun.
and they are fucking crack shots, and they just sit there and go, well, let's see how this goes.
Yep, she's got to do it herself. We can't help her.
Oh man.
Trying to get that "Not My Job" award.
She didn't say.
Yeah.
She did not use her safe word, so that's why.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. But yeah, so they the swords eventually she slides, cuts it open, and all the babies spill out. And it was very underutilized where you could have had those just crawl up and eat somebody that was like a side person, like maybe serving a drink or something. And you're just like, oh no, spiders!
I mean, you created a mess, and those baby spiders, they didn't tackle that at all. They were just like, okay, we just created 1,000 problems. Let's get the fuck out of
And
here.
they're like, all right, well, see you guys later.
Yeah,
Like, all right, you're in. We're gone.
Look,
Morty, this is why we don't revisit planets.
clearly you all can handle this,
Yeah, so we went from there to King Titus,
which is amazing.
which was what'd you say it was called, the Colossal
Colosseum
Coliseum.
planet.
Coliseum planet?
Planet?
Literally, that's the only thing on the planet is a giant Colosseum.
I could have used a little bit more of that Coliseum.
Which I do love the fact that he was an original actor in Gladiator, and they had him be the Gladiator character from this planet,
Yep.
and he was fucking yoked. He
Could be the same universe.
Yeah, he was.
yeah,
He's old too.
yeah. No, he's like 60 years old.
He's like 60.
60
He's
years
like
young,
Just a
man.
60-year-old drunk.
He's just blacked on crack, man.
Ooh.
But also, it's just like the most useless content of like talking.
Taylor
to him.
says
Like,
I
he
leave it
just-
in just for blackmail later.
Look.
He had like Davy Jones' locker beard.
Oh yeah, it was quite matted. It was very dreaded.
And all the content that they're talking about when they're recruiting these guys is just nonsensical. It just makes
Well,
no sense.
every recruitment was one of the episodes of Entourage. It's like, I'll never go. Okay, you talked me into
yeah,
it.
I don't want to do it. Okay.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
That was it every single
Yeah.
time.
And then they just go to the next group, and then you just flash back, and now there's not just one person looking like an idiot looking around while they're fighting some sort of prove of their worth. It's like 4 of them now. There's 5 of them. It's like, oh shit, yeah, all right. We're not going to step in.
My favorite one is the Furiosas when they go, okay, we need to get these Furiosas on our side, and they can't. But the guy is like, you know what? I've been fighting this war for 25 fucking years. I'm gonna go with these 6 people. Like, dude, you've been building something
Hey,
here.
you're still winning.
You're still in it, man. And he goes, no. We gotta take a stand. I'm gonna go with these 6 heroes. This guy looks
Your
like,
words mean something
This
to
guy
me.
looks like he rode a hawk, and I feel like he can ride this shit all the way to heaven.
See this guy over here not wearing a shirt but wearing a cape? He pulls. I'm going with him. I don't know where we're going.
I think the best part, though, is when he left, he's like, you guys going to come with me? I know we might die. And then it literally goes straight to where his world that he just left got destroyed by the bad guys because they followed them there or something.
Got multi-nuked.
And they were killing Jar Jar Binks, too, with a tentacle mouth.
Zack Snyder loves his buff dudes, man.
Check out my buff,
Hey, who can blame him?
my buff babies.
I mean,
Little Buff Boys Championship.
he just seems like Zack Snyder is the Paul Feig of action directors. Like, he seems like a lovely guy. But good fucking God, stop giving him budgets. Like,
Sometimes you have to just tell him no.
yeah, sometimes you just gotta say, look, man.
He'll explain.
Well, you're never going to have another movie that he's made like this because they gave him the budget to do it because like, okay, we saw how people responded to the whole Justice League cut. We're going to let you do it. And they're like, oh my God, you don't know how to write.
Here's the thing. This movie is far superior to the original film that he put out. And again, before I leave tonight, I'm going to make you watch the opening of the original.
Oh, you better.
But it's the same thing.
Nope.
It's the same thing as the
We're still
Batman
out.
vs Superman Snyder cut, which is it makes more sense, but it's more shit that's you don't want to see.
Yeah, you
It's
could
like-
you could have cut so much
Yeah.
content out just to explain what you should have to begin with.
Yeah, it's more,
Which
it's
is
just
what draws it out. I mean,
additional dour shit.
in this version, they added a sex scene that made no sense, didn't add any value or whatever, and it took 45 seconds to a minute and a half.
My mom left halfway through.
Yeah.
I actually
Like,
look.
she's like, spit in my mouth. I was like, no, I don't want to. And she's like, do it. And they're like, all right.
There's part of that sex scene that I think is relevant to the character where she's like, she's not clearly not on the same page as the lover. And that's it. All you need to see is like her hesitation to it, but then it keeps going and she's like continually hesitating and she's like forcing herself to get into it.
You could have done that with like an initial quick kiss. And
Yeah.
then she pulls in and then stops herself and goes, no. Like,
You're there.
does something. It's like, all right, that took 10 seconds. Great.
But in the immortal
it.
words of Zack Snyder, babes.
Zack Snyder cares less about those lady boobs than he does those fella boobs. He
We
likes
got
those
some-
man titties.
You got some man titties in
Yeah.
this movie.
He likes those. Come on, man. Get. I'm not chastising him. I'm just making an observation.
But the other character we have to discuss because there was so much more content from him that you never saw in the PG-13
Jabba?
was this robot
Chappie.
who was introduced early because they call out the fact that he was programmed to no longer be a fighting bot, which what he was originally created for. He was supposed to be a helper. And then he has a scene to where he creates some sort of emotional reaction saving somebody. So it's like he spends the rest of the movie with little short 1-minute clips of him like gaining humanity.
Nothing in this movie
he
was a 1-minute
interacts
clip.
with so many random things. No, just the interact. Like you have a random clip of him for a minute where he's touching a butterfly or something.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
This
Yeah.
is just out of nowhere because we just met, Beastmaster, and it's like, here's Anthony Hopkins, which is the voice of the character, talking to a butterfly. And then the next, one, he's like about to bang a scarecrow. It's like, there's so many random 1-minute clips, and like at the end of it, which was the best, where he's wearing the antlers and he's looking like he's this leader of the cause now. He's like, I'm here. I'm part of the team now.
I am the Elden Lord.
I know you didn't ask for my help or come to find me, but I'm part of the team.
And here's the thing: is he's not even part of the team yet.
Yeah,
You'll see.
He's just here. And
But
so
but just to correct
The intro of the second one needs to be him coming out of the woods and being like, "Number 5 is alive."
just to correct this backstory that you just heard, he
He got the flower crown from the girl. And that's why he saved
existed.
her.
He existed to protect the queen, and when the girl queen was
That's true.
killed, he lost all his motivation as a character. He lost his character motivation. But then he met that
I
chick.
didn't know
who looked just
robots
like
had
He
motive.
met the Viking chick that
Oh, yeah.
put the flower crown on, and he was like, you know what? You're my bottom bitch now. And he rediscovered his humanity.
yeah.
And so this is him. You know what?
One
I'm
robot's
ready to-
journey through his
and-
bottom bitch.
And don't you love his use of that laser gun when he's like he's thinking it over and he fires without aiming it
when
and
it looks like he's checking it out, but he's
That's
really just
right.
thinking about it.
I love
that
it.
was his
Yeah.
turning point to where he decided, okay, I'm gonna
Mhm.
figure some shit out because
Going back to
if I do
killing.
this, I've just reprogrammed myself to figure out if I want to be a a fighter again.
And so that happens, and what he should have done is, I'm going with this crew now. But instead what he does is, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's the best part of every one in the clip. He has some sort
Team,
of an
run away.
interaction, some sort of an emotional development, and then he literally just like scurries off. He goes, I'm out.
Just
He
does
just
his
runs away.
best Napoleon Dynamite impersonation and bails off that stage.
The best one was when they had the fire pit going. Like comes and like helps build the fire pit up and like protects it to keep it growing, and like they see him in the moonlight, and he just goes, just runs away.
This is the thing this movie is cleverly disguised as an action film that follows Sophia Boutella and her crew, but really what it is, it's a Richard Linklater Boyhood film that follows the robot. It's all about the robot.
Part 2 is 160 years in the future.
So what would blow your mind if part 2 is like another hour of just robot?
Oh man, I would be so happy.
I'd be happy.
I want because what's coupled with that
Is Anthony Hopkins
Anthony
reading poetry
Hopkins delivering lines
the entire time?
Yeah, he's delivering lines like in a meaningful way, but really you just picture him. He's just in a sound studio going, "What you need to understand is."
Oh, absolutely.
I would watch. I'd have that as like in the background when I was doing stuff. If it was just the robot, like a screensaver doing shit, and then Anthony Hopkins reading poetry, I'd put that on.
I think in the part 2 at the end, there's gonna be like a scrolling credit that says, "Thanks, Sir Anthony Hopkins, for not knowing what he was doing. We never told him."
We got a night on this movie.
Just saying, just nonsensical shit that really doesn't make any sense at all. There was pain in life, and then I kissed a butterfly.
I bowed before her, and rust buckets.
I'm actually really excited to see part 2
Yeah,
because
100%.
of how funny that was. Just
Okay, so
So let's talk about the bad guy.
you want to talk about the rapist Welshman? Is that what you want to talk about?
which
we were all hunched over and like, oh, it's time to let's go get her.
he's from Game of Thrones. So ironically, 2 characters from Game of Thrones who played the same character were
Yeah.
in this film. What is it? Dario
Naharis.
Naharis. He's one of the writers.
He's in Slytherin, I believe.
What was their group called? Some sort of writers. They're outside of the city marine, and then he was the one who actually killed
the second
sons.
Sons.
So he was the original one that they met, and then he kills all of the guys that were trying to take. I guess trying to fuck the queen at this point. We're gonna take it for ourselves.
Their plan was one of the 3 captains of the Second Sons needs to go kill her, and
That's
so
right, yeah. So they
flip
rolled the
forward,
coins.
He
drew his
drew the
coin.
short straw, and then instead he decided to kill the captains and go pledge allegiance to her.
Yeah, so the bad guy
Because-
was the original, and then the next season it transferred to a different actor who was actually the original guy from the Rice Planet with the Viking village, who
The
was
farmer
her,
boy.
her companion. Yeah, the one who managed the grain.
He's a total sweetheart.
The one who got his boss killed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what? It's not his fault. He was just trying to be a good guy.
That was the perfect shitty assistant manager. The manager's like, well, we're having a little. My time's a little. I just saw you at Applebee's for lunch for 2 hours.
that's actually probably the best way to describe
He
it.
waved him off, too. The
He's
guy
like,
was
stop, dude.
Hey, man, I got
Corporate's
it.
here, man.
Bro, I got this.
Yeah, which we didn't even talk about this yet. So the weapon of choice for the bad guy is this freaking golden femur,
I like it. I like the golden femur.
but we don't know what type of beast it's from.
Well,
but
he
it's
said
this,
the name of it in the beginning.
It's like
but
you know
we
what
have
the
no
fuck
idea
that
what
means.
that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it's just like the nuclear, whatever the hell the thing was, fairy from the very beginning.
Oh, the little
yeah,
monkey-looking
they introduced
thing?
this little creature because they wanted a
Yeah.
Yoda-like thing.
Gamma
It's essentially
gecko?
what it was. Like, we have
Which
to
is
have a
amazing.
stupid creature.
I just thought about that, and that never came back. It was just like, it was a walking, talking, fucking Claymore mine.
Yeah. The first
Yeah.
15 minutes are just wildly bizarre.
Oh, man.
He was just a small version of Squanch.
yeah,
from Rick and
yeah,
Morty.
exactly.
That's-
Yeah.
I was thinking about
It's like,
that.
I need you to go. He's like, I got this, Rick.
I was thinking it looked a little bit like
It's Squanchy
Lilo
time.
from Lilo and Stitch. It had that same little like,
He's just irradiated to hell. And
yeah.
I thought about that, and I was like, boy, you should have gotten 2 of those pets. I mean,
Well, we don't know if it died. It could have just been its power exerted, and then
Hey.
it's still just, hey,
That's just how
that
it
didn't
shits.
hurt me.
sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah, you never know.
No, my issue was when in that opening scene when he stood between the columns out of cover and
No one
started
could hit
firing
him?
all them, and they were like, "Well, we can't shoot him." I was like, "Fucking shoot that motherfucker!"
Well, they wanted him alive.
There's like 12. Shoot him in the legs.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like
I
12
agree.
of you.
I agree.
There's so many things.
There's a lot of stormtrooper
Stormtrooper
aiming going
that-
on.
yeah.
They
Somebody
approached
said they were
him
watching,
in
it
close
was very
quarters, and he's
similar.
like knifing him. I was like, "Look, man,
Listen, I'll let you kill about 100 more of my guys, but then we're gonna have to start shooting you
I
at
can
some
only,
point.
I can only give you so much rope."
But here's some bone
Yeah.
from your son. His son did bone him. to
Yeah,
death.
which they dragged
Got
the
in
son
there
off.
nice and deep.
Yeah.
They dragged the son off, but we never saw him again.
So
Wasn't
I
he the
need-
kid that helped
Yeah.
the farm?
Oh, was that the
He
guy?
was the private.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I thought you've watched this like 4
Where the
times.
fuck have you been?
Look, that opening scene wasn't in there, so he was the guy.
Yeah, that's who
Yeah.
that
What are you
was.
talking about? The one who was pushing the boxes and fighting with the.
The anti-rape
That's
guy.
what I was saying. It made
Yeah.
more sense because he has a history now to explain why he is so like shoot me in the face, kill me.
Oh wow!
You did. Jesus Christ.
No, I didn't make that connection until just now.
I thought we were talking about the film. That's why it made more sense because why would this kid be like, yeah, just go ahead and shoot me because I've already been through enough. I killed my fucking dad. And he's like, I have nothing to risk now.
His dad
But he
did.
also played no real purpose outside of that. He was just a supporting
like
actor
MacGuffin.
who had 30 minutes of backstory for nothing.
Don't worry, he'll be back.
Nah, great.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that. Yeah, so the bad guy, we got to get back to him because the end scene was very James Bond, as we were talking about, from GoldenEye.
Yeah, it was GoldenEye. 100%.
You have a fight scene to where the guy that we talked about from, what was he? We're just calling him Doomsday guy or
It's green.
the
no, the guy
Nazi?
who was like, hey,
Hitler?
you guys should fight me because she said
the brother and the sister team.
it made sense to me. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this guy jumps and attacks like a space plane because it's shooting them with like a
Massive turret,
huge,
and he's got a
massive
pole.
like javelin pole thing. Stabs through. You expect him to hit him. The guy just moves his head to the left and he misses, and he just starts shooting him in the chest.
That was the one thing where I was like, I was genuinely surprised. I was like, oh shit, he moved to the left. He goes,
Yeah.
nah,
He dodged it.
Not today.
Like, I saw you running up the thing,
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Like,
In most
I
movies,
see
it's
you,
a
Lenny
kill.
Kravitz.
You jumped in
No.
slow motion. It didn't take anything.
I
to just
want to
move
get
So
away.
I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was 100% an homage to Margot Robbie jumping through the starfish. It was the exact same thing, except she just cuts through and hits it, and then he misses, and the bad guy just shoots him 3 times in the chest. But of course, he has enough strength now because the lava hasn't burned his intestines, where he just stabs him in the chest,
Yeah.
kills him. But the ship breaks this bridge everyone's fighting on, and that's where we have the main battle scene between the bad guy and our farmer chick.
I also like that the guy in that turret gun that he kills, he controls the entire ship because he reaches in after he
It just goes
is
down.
dying and like pushes a lever down. The guys in the cockpit are like, "Well, I don't know why we gave
Yeah.
him control." Shit,
Look, man, it's a design flaw. It's a design flaw.
they're in every one of those. The rebels put them in.
It was that was a civil engineer designed it, and not a philosopher.
Miscue on that. Yeah, so bridge goes down, and then the lead bad guy falls onto this floating satellite-looking device, which was very reminiscent of GoldenEye, to where they're fighting on the actual satellite dish.
Yeah, it was GoldenEye and the Episode 3 Star Wars
Yeah,
fight scene
Yep,
combined.
absolutely.
Okay, so I've got a big issue here that I didn't talk about while we were watching the movie.
Is it
So-
about the movie?
Yeah, no,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was about the whole
I'm still
movie.
trying to recover the fact you didn't recognize that was that same fucking dude who was
No,
the
no.
soldier.
So Sophia Boutella, which, by the way, I think she does great with what she's given. Look,
You mean the 3 lines she had?
she did the whole fucking thing. Like, look, it's not a great written part, but she made the most of it.
I just want to know how you think she feels as a woman.
Well, I can't even fathom because she's so much more woman than me. But
Oh, we saw.
the point is, I really like we're in a sci-fi world, and whenever she the first action sequence when she takes the axe and goes through all the
Yeah.
the embed, I was like, okay, we're gonna find out that she is genetically enhanced. She's a super soldier, and that never shows up. And I really wanted it to show up, to be like, okay, she is a woman, but she's fit as shit, and this is the reason that she can hang toe-to-toe with the guys.
Well, I think it's because you find out later she was trained by the enemy. And
That's fine.
what-
The training is technically true, but she goes blow for blow. She doesn't go like she doesn't go for agility. She actually is a fighter fist for fist. And so I really
Some women
wanted
can
her to
take a
be
hit.
I want her to be a super soldier. And so that ending sequence when she goes toe to toe with Ed Skrein and beats him, like she literally like beats the fuck out of him.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted her to be super soldiered up, and I wanted that explanations for why she can overcome.
She's no Kurt Russell.
Yeah, well, and so that doesn't happen. And I feel like that was low hanging fruit where they could have explained that really quickly.
No,
There
it
was
would have been
nothing
another
really
hour.
quick about that film.
Well, and what's interesting you said it too is though because we see her defeat him, he falls off of this hovering satellite dish, only to be revealed later that he is picked up and then has, I mean, some sort of a percentage of mechanical cyber components to himself that basically rehabilitate him, and he has
They
this
plug him into the Matrix
like
communication
a weird
network.
Matrix thing where he's talking to the leader who we had seen previously, who is actually a guy who saved her character. So the original, I guess, the main bad guy is him trying to go back and get her.
Like any good Nazi soldier, man. He's got
He's-
the,
yeah, behind the curtain.
he's just the main grunt. He's just the guy, but apparently if he can just get fixed up, not going to fix those teeth, though. He's going to whistle like a sailor. But
So the teeth thing. The teeth thing is new for the director's cut version. In the original, this is so weird because his teeth are fine in that last cut, but they fucked his teeth up because the teeth became a thing.
yeah,
in the
we have
director's
to,
cut.
we have to talk
the,
about
the
that.
teeth
Like, there was-
mosaic,
yeah.
that's not in the original.
the entire part of that at all?
The whole teeth thing, that's not in the original.
So,
It was like the coolest part of the whole movie.
yeah, I think it was actually the most unique part of it,
Yeah.
which they don't really describe it, but every
He's the
single
tooth fairy.
scene where the bad guys are going through, there are these three dudes in red robes. They don't talk. They don't do anything. They're just there.
Are those
And
masks that they're wearing, or is that their faces?
I thought it looked like some sort of mask, like
Yeah, because it was over the cloth. One of them fell off when they got shot.
They're like the Bene Gesserit.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we're like priests or something. But they were collecting the teeth of the victims, and they were building this like I don't know. What do you think? 2 by 1 foot frame that was mosaically pieced together with people's teeth to create a specific design, but it had the princess's image in the middle.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out more about that princess in part 2.
That was toothless.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting because you don't really know what they're doing, what the purpose of the teeth was.
Nope.
But that was also why it made sense where they knocked his teeth out in that fight. So I'm not sure why they didn't include that in the PG-13 version.
Jimmy chomp, chomp, chomp.
You know, here's my issue: is when you look at the mosaic and the teeth that they've added to it. Boy, they really haven't killed that many people. It's like,
Well, he only takes the important people's teeth.
So I disagree because there was different color variations, so they had to kill more and more people because if they killed someone, like, nah, that doesn't match the right color, doesn't fit the mosaic. They had
Yeah.
to kill somebody else. To get
I
the
started
right
this
people.
line of green over here when you haven't killed a squid person for like 2
Damn it.
years. Guys, you got to get me to a squid planet.
I mean, maybe, but here's the thing: is like we're just
Guys,
looking.
did you know that when, like, if someone has, like, a gold filling... And a
Gold
dentist-
man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you.
No, and a dentist takes it out. They will give it to them because those people will...
Oh, melt it?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll take it in.
What do you mean, those people?
People without teeth.
No, like, I'm just saying, like, if
Nazis.
you have a gold filling,
Yeah.
they will take it in. And I learned that today.
Pirates.
I'm unemployed.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Fucking awesome. That's amazing.
Oh, shit.
It's a top moment.
So really looking forward to part 2. I mean,
The Revenge of the Spider Woman.
I was very surprised how many people were in this movie. I didn't realize it. It was quite a big cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Not
know.
all of them had as
If-
big of
if-
parts as you would think they should have.
If only they could have more to work with.
I assume, is there an extensive addition of cast for part 2? Without like trying to give anything away?
What are they going to do without Charlie Hunnam? Because he came in and he just cowboyed everybody's lines. He just lassoed them. He's like, I'm going to take that line. I'm going to
They're
take
gonna
that
find
line.
somebody else that can speak in a
Do what?
terrible Irish accent.
So no, what you have as cast wise is what you get for season.
Yeah, shot.
for-
Okay,
for
good.
episode
So we
2.
spent 3.5 hours developing these characters
I know I
in
didn't
a
know
very
that. I
terrible
thought
way.
you just, when you
But
said
here's the
that,
thing.
It was like because he died in this.
No, he got No Country for Old Men in the face. Under the
Oh,
chin.
yeah, good reference for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he got cow killed.
Calcule.
There's a documentary that Netflix also made about.
Fuck have I been? That's the laugh you did earlier.
That's just his laugh.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, you did.
I would have never done anything.
You
like
did it
that.
20 times, and we were like, "Hey guys, watch this part. It's coming up." It actually made
Okay,
the movie
that
funnier.
did happen a lot.
It made the movie funnier because I'm like, all right, I wasn't sure what to expect, but now I'm just gonna laugh because you're doing that.
They're
Guy.
shoveling coal.
Oh my god, yeah.
Y'all need to put me. Hey, the coal fucking shoveling thing. Okay,
We haven't even talked about the
No.
world engine of a chick that's just blowing a volcano.
so hold on, because I want to talk about this.
This podcast is gonna be like 4 hours long.
Oh, it's as long as it needs to be. So the
What
coal,
an idea!
the coal shoveling thing,
Ready.
the coal shoveling thing in the face that's sucking all the cosmic energy, that is not introduced at all in the first movie.
Organic.
That just shows up.
material.
No, that just shows up at the last half an hour of the second film with no introduction whatsoever. So it's the face that's generating the power for the war machine,
Yeah.
and then it's
weak spot in their Death
and
Star?
then it's the coal shovelers with no explanation whatsoever. So they gave an explanation in this, but in the original first and second part, there's no explanation for it. So you just think that those guys are shoveling coal, and it's like, oh, this is
They don't
obviously
even
just
tell
a
you its bodies
no,
and organs.
no, it looks like a Titanic scene, and like she jumps down there and kills all these coal shovelers, and you're like, those guys are just working in the bowels of the ship. They didn't do anything wrong. They're slaves.
So
No, but she said like when she was younger, she would go and she would like touch the face of it.
well, that's the scene we saw. Yeah, she was interacting.
That's the thing is that's not in the original film whatsoever.
So my question about this thing is, you have the guy at the end of this film where he's interacting with it, and I don't know if it is showing visions of the future in the eyes of this machine,
No,
No, that was just
Or
like
just
him
showing-
talking to him.
but it also the eyeballs though showed something happening.
I think it was like
It was a tear.
it was like a fax line connecting.
So do you think that the organs, they have to be human matter is what they said, harvested in there, so that this thing can actually see what is happening, so that you can utilize this device more than just a power mechanism, but to see what is happening in other parts of just the world?
oh man, you're trying to map so much shit.
Then they should have done
Onto
that,
this.
because that's what that should have been for.
I thought
because
they just
the eyes
FaceTimed.
was like, this thing is going to be able to give you visions of where the people are when you're trying to track them down. It has to harvest human organs to connect with them, to almost harvest their memories to project what it wants you to see.
You're giving more thought than Zack Snyder gave to all that. Yeah,
It wasn't
absolutely.
organs, it was just bone.
It was just body parts. I mean, it didn't matter what it was. I mean,
Look at the bones.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it was. Well,
I think
that's
it's
the thing,
just-
because that would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah,
I
you're-
think Bones just control their iPhones.
And that's fair. Well, we got to talk about that. The old Viking village that is just running on plows and horses wearing masks. No technology whatsoever, but they have an iPad that tracks the harvest.
look, man, they don't all have to be curmudgeons. And they don't all have to be Mennonites, man. Sometimes you got to spread your wings. Sometimes you got to float.
Let's
like a
not
butterfly.
utilize technology to make our lives better. We're gonna run the plow. But I want to digitally track how much we make.
Certainly seems like maybe you should abandon your village and build one on the other side of the fucking planet, because holy shit, that would have been way easier than waiting there and trying to mine all those bushels. I mean,
It's only 12,000 a season.
I can't give too much away, but wait until the second part of this shit.
There's a
Because-
second part, so they're all tax evaders and they just went there because they had bad credit.
No,
They couldn't buy any
No, no,
machines.
No.
Wake up, Brian.
It's all about
No, he's fucking done.
it's all about the bushels, man. It's all about the bushels.
I like that.
you 3 bushels of corn for 2 chickens.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sad we didn't watch this earlier, so we just go ahead and watch this.
they're gonna get
Okay.
longest road. Longest
Oh,
road.
yeah. Oh yeah.
No, you never played. So it's called Sir Nottingham, and you literally have to trade different commodities to gain points, and you're like, all right, you're doing a trading thing. You're like, all right, I'll give you 3 of these for 2 of those.
I think
Like,
I've played
all
that
right, I'll give you
before.
3 bushels of wheat.
I think I got raked across.
As long as
the-
you drink this Bailey's out of my shoe.
I think I played that once and I got raked across the coals because I didn't understand the economics.
Probably.
of
You
it.
never trust a pygmy, man.
Look, that guy was grabbing some junk. He was all about that.
Yeah, I didn't see him pull away though.
Huh?
I didn't see Farmer
Yeah,
Boy
he
pull
coulda-
away.
He could have pulled those.
He
hips
could have
in.
backed up.
Yeah.
I think it just got hard, and he was like, "Ugh." Oh, he's into it.
Haven't had the touch of another person for 6 years.
It's like, why does this feel right?
If Cora would have given him a little, slap and tickle, then maybe things would have gone out a little more smoothly.
Maybe. But I guess to wrap it up,
So,
we finished this battle, right? So they go back to the old Viking village.
hold on. I want to try and think of. One of the things that we didn't talk about is they captured everybody. They've got them captured
Oh,
at
yeah.
the
Double
closing
cross.
sequence, and they give.
The scorpion.
Yeah, they give what's his name. Hey, by the way,
Well, the scorpion devices also need to be described because that was probably the coolest mechanism that they
Absolutely.
introduced. It was a
Absolutely.
mechanical little kind of spider-looking scorpion creature, and it attaches to the back of them and then holds them up, basically ready to be
Yeah.
done with, whatever you want to do. And it
Ryan
just walks
said
around.
the
That's its only
Beetlejuice
purpose.
mom
Yes,
statue.
absolutely.
Yep.
The chair from Beetlejuice is the best description. Great description.
Street performers in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
how many of them have you killed?
2.
Thank you.
Yeah. I agree. It's a great little set piece. It's lovely. It's a nice little science fiction aspect.
You had to have something good.
And then they give the mechanism for releasing people to this fucking asswipe that's with them. And they're like, okay, no, pull the trigger. Don't twist your hand.
And it's
he
like
goes,
Rob described. It's basically the air shot that you put into
Yeah, it's the-
animals
it's
to
the cattle,
kill them.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
cattle killer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anton Chigurh.
So it's instant death.
Yeah.
And,
One of 3
but it's also you just twist it to the right though, and it's not. It's release.
And you can let him out. So
that's a tricky slope right there. Hey, we're supposed to release you. Oh shit! I
mean,
turned it to the left, my man.
Killer key.
This is a very simple exercise.
We didn't
here.
like Ted anyway.
Yeah, if he turns his wrist, shoot him in the fucking head. And he turns his wrist and they go, oh!
Which
And
I'm
then-
surprised they didn't do slow mo at that point in time.
Did they not do slow-mo or
No.
It's the only time.
The only
they
thing that
didn't
was
do
slow
slow-mo.
was the reaction of the group to say, "Oh, we should shoot the other guys stuck in these machines.
Okay.
Let's just shoot our bullets elsewhere."
So I don't know what the director's cut of part 2 looks like, but I'll go ahead and give this away.
Seen it? What?
I haven't seen the director's cut. I've seen the original part 2. And if the director's cut is anything like the original, there is, and this is a spoiler here, there is a long extended sequence
What? You don't say.
of slow-mo of them mining the wheat.
You bastard!
Like
you ruined it.
harvesting the wheat.
I just hope it's the robot.
It is
They have to find some way to pay the rebels to come help them with their cause because we all know the wheat is gold.
so it is treated as such in the
Apparently.
in the part 2. So if this is what's included in part 2, it's got to be even longer in part 3.
Would you have felt as bad about the entire, like, I guess the storyline of this if they had explained in the beginning, at this point in time, let's just say they do like a AD, year, whatever happened, all of the planets have been deprived of the resources. Like, there's nothing that exists anymore. People are fighting for it. And now you have this one particular village, and that's it. So to give them purpose, them to come there and say, hey, we need your grain because there's nothing out there.
It would have made more sense.
Everything was going great
Versus-
until those damn Avengers undid the snap.
Yeah.
And
But then it's like, oh, we're
Because
going to go
then
destroy
it's-
these planets that are also self-sustaining. They have plenty of food. It doesn't make any sense because that grain, though, tastes pretty nice.
Because then it's just one ship out for itself, as opposed to, again, we see this ship tear a space vagina in the galaxy to travel through, which means that they can tear a space vagina to go back to the core systems and get more grain. They don't need that shit. But if they're on their own, okay, they're just on their own. They're looking for their own sustenance.
Well, what if it had a headache, or it had a long day, or
not everybody likes drinking evaporated milk, so
it didn't, because clearly it opened up and let them through. So,
based on the soldiers' actions, it wasn't consensual.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That space vagina did not want them to come through.
Don't worry. You'll see what happens.
Yeah, I can't wait for Matthew McConaughey to pop out. I've been looking for years for this grain.
I'm not very fun at parties.
I've been driving this Lincoln, thinking about this booger. All right.
Yellow King.
What else do we need to discuss about this movie?
I guess the ending, essentially,
Which
to set us up.
Well, look, let's go out on a positive note. I feel like Sophia Boutella.
Yeah, great tits.
I think she did a great job.
From a woman's standpoint,
Yep.
how do you feel?
I feel like this is far more empowering than some of the other women-centric media pieces that I have seen. Sophia Boutella chooses who she wants to lay with.
Did you say that she was originally a stunt coordinator?
She was.
She was
Okay.
originally a stunt woman, and her breakout role was Kingsman, where she had the knives on her feet.
So was she originally hired
Sword
for that
legs.
role as the character,
Rodriguez
or was she
Kruger.
doing stunts and they said, "You're pretty badass. We're going to go ahead and actually have you play the role"?
I actually
Rodriguez
don't
Kruger?
know how that switch made. How that switch was where
Okay.
that switch came from.
Yeah, every movie
Wait,
she's
leg
in, she's a
kick?
badass. Like,
Yeah,
she does a fantastic job.
I think she does a great job. Yeah,
Granted, I feel like they kind of didn't give her the best dialogue in some points in this film, to where it wasn't an accurate display of her as an actress.
but the character scenes with her, I feel like she did a solid job with what she was given.
yeah,
She
fake Hugh
always
Jackman's dick.
she always took it seriously. She always tried, and that is commendable to her.
That's fair. That's all that
Because-
Zach can ask for.
But you know what? I don't know. I feel like even as an action star, even without the super soldier serum that I required earlier, she's still agile. She still pulls off the action sequences.
Yeah, fertile.
It's believable. Like she's fucking working it, and I appreciate that. I really do. I think it was the right choice for the role.
No, she's great. She's an action movie star.
Yeah,
for sure. No,
Yeah.
she went and got it.
She more so Sophia Boutella. I would like John Jane Wick. She'd be great, Jane Wick.
I can see that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she in any of those movies?
She's not.
I haven't seen the latest one. They have so many spinoffs
I don't
coming
know.
out, like series, TV shows coming out.
Not a big movie guy.
That's fair.
She'd be good Jane Wick though. She has the stoicism down pat. I think she's better than fucking. Oh my god, what's Wonder Woman? Who's that? Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
She's way better than Gal Gadot.
Gal
Hello,
Gadot seems more
no.
of a dramatic actress than she is an action star.
Who?
Gal Gadot. I feel like she's more drama.
You think she's more drama?
Yeah, I don't really think she's that.
She's a fucking wall. She's nothing.
He doesn't like people who have different accents.
That's been established.
That track.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
The Donkey Show.
Yes.
Same thing we were talking about.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
We'll see
Yeah.
if that makes it.
So we go through the whole Matrix scene where the bad guy
Cut
gets
that out. Cut that out.
bad
Don't
guy
add
gets a
that
vision
in.
quest.
That'll go into Rob's
Oh
files
my god, don't add that in.
when Taylor goes into politics file.
Jesus.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Donkey Show.
Yes.
Same thing we were talking about.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
yeah,
This
that's
is
gonna have to get cut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some hop-ons here.
Yeah. So they think the battle's over, but actually they acknowledge the fact that the war has just begun, so they know that more is coming because they go back to the Viking village, And then we're just not really sure what's going to happen next because they don't really know who the bad guy is at this point, right? Because they think they've defeated him. We're the only ones who get the
They think
the Matrix style
the threat
recovery.
is over. Yeah.
But they acknowledge
green.
there's still a war though. They're not like, hey, we're done.
It's green. It's great. He's great.
Hey, you might get that.
Yeah, you might die there, brother.
I don't see any big birds here either.
And some of them.
Well, let's be fair. They didn't really kill off anybody except for the guy who jumped on the spaceship and got shot in the chest.
Yeah.
And since Charlie was technically a bad
Yeah,
guy,
I don't think we'll see it hunting again.
yeah, I don't know.
No, you're correct.
Most of his brains poured out of his face.
You're correct.
Yeah, that's fair. Those lava bullets do some damage.
Also, at the beginning, he's like, is he seeing that guy's memories? How?
Yeah.
Was he
So,
a space wizard?
The scene that you didn't
Oh,
see
where
through
where he's feeling the brain?
Yeah.
So if we know that he is part
is he
machine, I
just
think he
making that
was seeing memories or
I
something.
think he's just riffing.
But it doesn't.
Yeah,
if,
the very
if there's
beginning,
no
he
content
picks up that
that
guy's
you know
brains.
in the second part, then it doesn't matter. It was just like a thing they added. Maybe it was a thought he had. Maybe he'll be able to do that, and they just didn't explore.
The
it
whole
further.
point of that sequence is to establish that he's the bad guy, but you don't even need that because he's dressed as a fucking Nazi.
Or he's dressed like he's from Peaky Blinders.
But to be fair,
as
in
we've
this
seen.
America, some people might see that and be like, okay, so which one's the bad guy?
That's fair.
The fun thing is that he shows up to the Viking village and he's like, "Hey man, can I get some of that grain?" And you're like, wait, that's not really what he wants. And then you get to the end of the scene, you're like, no, he really wants the grain. And you go, wait a minute,
Why?
he wants like these communist farmers grain? Like they're having trouble if they're at that level where they're having trouble feeding themselves.
That's what I'm saying. If
They're
they had some sort of an
fucked.
explanation
Yeah,
to
they're
like say that
fucked.
this made sense, then it would have added a little bit of value
They
to
are
it. So you're like, this is just
desperate.
completely.
They're at the end of their fucking rope.
So I wonder if that part, since it was an added scene for the R-rated version, to where when he is looking through the memories of the brains, now that we know after finishing this that he has part machine in him, he went to this type of like memory, whatever the hell happens, to where he sees the main bad guy. Maybe that was a concept he didn't fully finish. He just said,
Man.
"Nah, I'm just gonna do the brains part. And I'm gonna scrap that," because maybe he had some ability to see more than we know, and
We-
he's just like, "Nah,
We didn't even talk about
we don't have time for it. We got too many slow mo scenes we gotta add."
we didn't even talk about the main bad guy, which is like Sophia Boutella's main motivation, where she just like
I mean,
wants to,
savior, love, hate.
bro, like the main bad guy. I can't again. This first movie is, if you want to compare it to the second movie, it is like a 7 or 8 out of 10. The next film, it has one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen in a movie because it's so bad and so bizarre. And it's
So we get the space opera in the second one.
do you know what diegetic music is?
Is that where you listen to your poop come out?
You can't eat peanuts?
Diegetic music is music that is overture. It is part of the movie.
But it's also inside the movie.
That's correct.
The characters can hear
The
it.
characters can hear it as well.
Yeah, so it's Guardians of the Galaxy every time.
And they have the most absurd example of diegetic music I have ever fucking seen, where you just go, you watch it and you go, this isn't happening. and the movie, the scene
This is not
ends
right.
and you go, stop everything. I paused it and I go, wait a minute. Did they just hear what happened? And you go, absolutely. The movie told me they heard everything that happened, and you go, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Good use of adding money, I assume.
Okay, so hold on. Best use of diegetic music in a movie.
Goodfellas.
That's a good answer.
Goodfellas.
I don't even recall the scene.
The scene where he is at the end, where he's trying to evade the police helicopters, and he doesn't know if they're actually following him or if he's just paranoid because of all the cocaine. Jumpin' Jack Flash.
On the radio in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now, yeah.
That's the best example that I can think of.
My
gotta
favorite
go
of
back
all
and watch
time
that.
is Shaun of the Dead when they play Queen in the bar,
Yeah, that's a good one.
hitting with the pull sticks in time.
That's an
Beautiful.
excellent example.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So is it technically an example of that when they're playing music intentionally and it becomes the soundtrack? Because they started jukebox in that scene,
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same
so
thing.
it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. If it bleeds in and it goes with the pace
There's an
of
interaction
the film,
with the film.
Yeah.
Wayne's World did it in the beginning with Queen.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, if it becomes the score and the characters can hear it at the same time.
Which that's a that. Go ahead.
Papa, can you hear me?
That song was not a huge hit until Wayne's World came out.
I disagree.
He forced it to be in the movie.
Yeah, they made it a thing.
That's why he's the one of the executive producers in the Queen movie, because they love him.
Mike Myers is?
Oh, really? So I think it was last week. He said originally he didn't want Dana Carvey to have a lot of lines because he was a superstar at the time. Mike Myers was not. So he didn't want him to overpower him in the film. And then it ended up with like them having this fight. He wasn't going to do the movie. Then Dana Carvey agreed because he let him just like mad lib a bunch of stuff. So he had a little bit of criticism that he could do his own because he's like, no, I'm not going to just be a sideshow character. I want to do some stuff.
Yeah, they fell out for a while.
And then it made it better. Like they're like, dude, this is great. Like everything you did was perfect. I thought it was kind of interesting because I usually now Mike Myers, I like him so much better. Dana Carvey was a lot more popular in his time frame, but I don't ever think that Dana Carvey is more popular.
Well, Mike Myers never stopped doing what he was doing. You had
Yeah, and Carvey kind of after turtle, kind
There's guys.
of threw it in. Like, all right, maybe I should stop.
I made Whitney watch about a year and a half ago. I made Whitney watch. So I Married an Axe Murderer.
yeah.
Great movie,
Because
such a good movie.
I kept doing the references. I go, Whitney,
Whitney, head move.
you go down the alley. You don't know the truth.
And she had
Now
no idea.
we will go out together.
Yeah,
And
that is a fantastic
I
movie.
kept doing things.
And then you killed her. Charging.
That's funny.
Rebel Moon. I guess we're done.
Yeah, well,
Ryan's
quickly
definitely
do
done.
the next one here soon.
Ryan's been done for an hour.
Yeah.
Say your
Oh, yeah.
name so we know you're alive.
I'm alive still, sort of.
I mean,
Yes, that's the way.
It's me.
I don't know. What
Give a drink, Biz.
I feel like we should give an up or down rating on this particular movie.
It has to be scaled
I
because the group being able to watch it together and make fun of it at the same time, I think added a lot of value to us. Because you definitely enjoyed watching this more than you did watching the PG-13 version,
Hands down.
which
You
I
were-
know,
Very critical of the PG-13 version
Oh
when
man,
it came out.
it is.
but it's
it
like
is
every
so
Zack Snyder
bad.
like cut, you actually get to see what was supposed to make sense to the scenes that you didn't understand before. But it doesn't need to last 3.5 hours.
It's not. It's never good. I watched the director's cut and I watched the Snyder cut. I should say, and I'm never like great. I'm always
But
like,
you're like, it's better. Okay, I get it. It's
I always
better.
go, okay, I get it now.
some of these things make sense now.
It's not.
Good.
It's just such a
Yeah,
self-indulgent
wasting time on other stupid stuff. It doesn't
fucking wiener. I
It's a
sit
weird way
there.
to put it, but I get it.
I sit there and I'm
Stole
like,
that from Gone in 60 Seconds.
I sit there and I think about, okay, David Fincher watching this movie.
It's about family.
and just throwing shit out and just going, okay, there's an hour and 40-minute movie here that's great, and Zack Snyder just can't quit. Why can't I quit you? He just fucking
He can't have anybody tell him no. And it's like, this is how I vision it.
Yeah, he needs it.
You guys realize that we are never going to get him on the podcast if you keep shitting on him.
Podcast would last 5 fucking days.
Honestly, if he keeps making movies like this, we can get him on the podcast. Yeah,
All his projects are canceled. They're like,
Yeah.
dude, we saw what you wanted to do. We are fucking out.
he'll be here, and we'll talk about it, and we'll be like, look, Zach, it's like a. Honestly, it is poetry. I really do. I would describe it as poetry.
Would you describe it as a space opera?
I would just say,
Where'd that accent come from?
why did you put that fucking line in there? Like, it's not good. It's like,
Yeah.
it would have been a haiku, but you added these extra 3 fucking lines, and it doesn't make any sense now.
Now it's just a poem that don't rhyme.
That's right. Fucking that's right. There was a haiku here that was perfect, and you
now
put
we're reading the Odyssey.
you put Anthony Hopkins in there.
What's that movie that does that? He like does the right joke and then he says something else like stop adding something to it.
I know what you're talking about.
Gosh. All right. We'll think about it and we'll come back to you on the second one.
I mean, I'm glad I watched this version. I'm never going to watch the other version.
Oh, absolutely not. No way.
Knowing what I know.
I'm gonna put it on right now. I'm gonna put the original. I'm gonna put the
I'm out.
first 5 minutes.
I'm never going to watch it without Taylor. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
That's right. That's right.
If I have to suffer through it, so do you.
Don't ever.
But
Don't
Watch it without you.
don't watch it without a supervising
wrap up
adult.
yeah, I need an adult.
Too
What?
drunk to taste this chicken.
Yeah, there it is.
You know the film is good when you want to hit pause and say, how much left? We had to do that multiple times. And by God, that 20-minute stretch that felt like an hour was the hardest thing I've ever got through.
Cameron didn't make it.
Yeah, we had 2 people ditch.
Sally never makes
One
it.
fell
though.
asleep.
No, she never makes it. Cameron made it through the movie. At
Yeah.
least. Yeah. If the streetlights are on, he gets in trouble. He's got to go home.
They were on when we started the movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The Donkey Show.
Yes.
Same thing we were talking about. Man, I hope that picked up. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh. All right. Future Rob, remember to cut that part out and save it to play on your phone every time Cameron comes over.
Just make that his ringtone.
I'm gonna put it on like the Alexa, so I'll be like, hey Alexa, Cameron's here. I'll be like, oh, what's he even same thing we were
Yes.
talking about.
Oh,
Yeeks.
that's great. All right.
Yeah, cut it about here. That piece didn't need to be involved.
See you next time.
Is this a Snyder cut?
Yeah, it is now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, watch it if you like weird shit like this, but you're not going to want to sit down and watch it again.
You will never watch this movie twice. It's not like a Christmas movie. Like, hey, let's watch that again with
Of
the
course.
family.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it first.
Yeah, you need to watch it once.
Yeah.
I looked over at Will like 2 or 3 times, and I'd make a nod and something, and I'd look at Ryan and be like, "Oh yeah, he's still asleep,"
That motherfucker is passed out.
which you deserve. You've been up for almost 24 hours.
Yeah, I've been up. I'm getting close to 24 hours now.
Yeah. That's a hell of a drug.
That's too many hours.
I was never sleeping. I just nod off for a minute.
Yeah, just
then
take a little,
back.
just
Yep.
rest in your eyes.
Little Da Vinci sleep. 15 minutes every 4 hours.
I don't know if it was that much. It was a couple minutes each time. Because we're still in the same scene every time I woke up.
We were always on the same scene.
That doesn't mean you weren't asleep for 30 minutes.
Right. It's the same.
The whole
green-
movie.
It's the same green screen. You just change up. You just type some new equations in, and it changes up the
They
background.
just moved the foreground in and out.
Oh man.
All right,
Touche.
more to come. That's for sure.
Anybody else want to close on this, or are we good here?
I think
We're
we're gonna
good.
have a lot more to discuss in the
Yeah,
next
we
one.
will.
I can't wait for part 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I would like
I can't
to.
wait to see the differences.
All right, tomorrow.
I don't want to wait
I think I'm
because this
sick that
movie
day.
was so
You-
good.
Cancel your plans, bud.
No.
Ouch. All right. Well, that's good with that. This is a long one. So the second one will be.
Twice as long.
That's what she said.
You gotta wrap things up, man. You gotta tighten it up.
There's a lot of
Dave Chappelle says, "Wrap it up."
loose ends I got to tie up there.
Sophia Boutella, perfectly serviceable actress.
How delightful.
She did great. Bless her heart.
Even with all those haircuts.
Yeah. I mean, she had 2 haircuts. She just wanted some bangs. Give her some fucking bangs.
She had 2
Evil
haircuts.
Empire.
Ed Screen had 19
got
costume
that.
Let her
changes.
have it. Ugh.
Okay, we're done with this
All right,
one.
I gotta poop.
Charlie.